Garcia, charged with tampering, fabricating evidence. In that regard, you have a right to retain counsel. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to have an attorney present during any interview with peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have a right to terminate an interview with peace officers or attorneys representing the state at any time. You have a right to request an appointment of counsel if you're indigent and cannot afford counsel, and you have a right to an examining trial. You're not required to make any statement. Any statement you make may and probably will be used against you in your trial. If you're not a citizen of the United States, you may have a right to contact your consulate, and if you're a foreign national of certain countries, you have a right to consult, to have your consulate contacted for you. Presently, the bond is set at $5,000. What's the probable cause?
On 11/10/16, officers from Houston Police Department Special Response were monitoring an anti-Trump protest, Your Honor, in the downtown Houston area. The protest group numbered approximately 100 protesters, and the protesters began marching from Houston City Hall to the intersection of Preston and Travis. On Defendant Garcia Briones, Your Honor, she was a protester. There was a camera that was knocked off of an officer's body. Ms. Garcia Briones picked up the camera and attempted to hide it in her hands, preventing Officer Warren from recovering the camera. Officer Mata, with downtown patrols, observed the incident transpire and saw Defendant Garcia Briones pick up the police camera and hide it in her hands, tucking it to her left side as if she was hiding it from view. Officer Mata asked for the camera back, and Defendant Garcia Briones replied, "What camera? I don't have anything." Officer Mata then saw the camera between the defendant's hands, so we opened her hands and took the camera away from her.
All right, I find there's probable cause to bind the case over to the grand jury. The bond will remain at $5,000. And the next case on Door, same warnings. You have a right to retain counsel. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to have an attorney present during any interview with peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have a right to terminate that interview with peace officers or attorneys representing the state at any time. You have a right to request the appointment of counsel if you're indigent and cannot afford counsel. You have a right to an examining trial. You're not required to make any statement. Any statement you make may and probably would be used against you in your trial. And if you're not a citizen of the United States, you may have a right to contact your consulate. If you're a foreign national of certain countries, you have a right to have your consulate contacted for you. Your bond is set at $2,000. What is the probable cause on that case, please?
Defendant Door was also protesting at 1100 Preston and impeding a moving lane of traffic, standing in the street where the sidewalk was provided. She was warned by mounted officers to get back onto the sidewalk where it would be safer protesting and not against city ordinance. Defendant Door refused the officer's lawful order and stayed in the street. Officer McGee used his police service horse, Astro, to move Defendant Door back onto the sidewalk. As he pushed her with his horse, Defendant Door took a combative stance and struck Astro on the shoulder with a closed fist. Officer Wyatt responded to the incident and arrested Defendant Door for assaulting a police service animal.
I find there's probable cause to bind the case over to the grand jury. I raised the bond to $5,000. Have your client sign that indicating I've given those warnings, please.
Jolanda Jones, Jolanda, last name Jones, Jones.
Can you tell us what happened today?
Well, our clients were arraigned, and I want the world to know that our clients are absolutely innocent. They had a First Amendment right to protest, and I think this is one of the first indications of what's going to happen with the new president. But we will be fighting this. We're waiting for the body cams to come in. And, you know, we were surprised that Ms. Door's bond was raised, and they immediately sought to lock her up. By the grace of God, we've got a bonding company to write that additional bond, and we approached the judge about allowing our client to leave from this courtroom rather than to process her into the jail, which would mean that she'd have to be locked up for at least another 24 hours. So we're thankful for that, and that's what we've been doing. But we believe that at the end of the day, when the evidence comes in, you'll see that our clients are innocent of this. No one hit a horse, and no one hit a camera.
What are the alleged charges?
Well, Ms. Garcia Briones is charged with picking up a camera that was allegedly knocked off of an officer and hiding it, which we absolutely dispute. and Miss Dorr was accused of punching a horse in the shoulder, a police horse in the shoulder. Again, we absolutely dispute that as well.
Was there any jail time that your clients faced?
Was there any jail? Well, at the end of the day, our clients are charged with third-degree felonies, range of punishment, 2 to 10 years in prison, up to a $10,000 fine. And my client has never, ever been in trouble. She is a college student. She is doing positive things. She was on the debate team in high school. And it is really unfortunate that while exercising your First Amendment rights, that people get upset because they want to shut down lawful protests and trump up charges on people. And I'm offended, but I'm also hurt for my client. She was locked up over the weekend for doing something that she was constitutionally protected to do. But believe me, we're going to fight this. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Our clients are innocent, and again, after this is all said and done, we believe the evidence will show that.
You expect to have video evidence soon of the case?
They say a body cam was knocked off, so I'm presuming that if they say a body cam was knocked off, then there should be a body cam. But I actually think there should be more than one body cam because there was more than one officer, but we'll see. That's always sort of funky, you know. A lot of times they're not working or what have you, but we'll see.
And once again, your client was accused of hiding the camera?
My client was accused of picking up, which, by the way, let me be clear, the first we heard of this was this morning. Right. The first we heard of this was this morning, and there was a lot of talking about what the police were alleging before this. So they finally landed on that she took a camera that had been knocked off and hid it under her purse.
So just so we were clear up there, there's two clients that you're representing, right?
No, I represent Ms. Garcia Briones.
And my name's Brian Harrison. I represent Cherie Dorr. I just want to reiterate that, you know, the district attorney's office is going to try to make this not a First Amendment case. There is no doubt that this is all about the First Amendment. These cases are filed in an effort to try to intimidate demonstrators against Donald Trump, and we are going to fight these charges that are aimed at discouraging people from exercising their First Amendment rights.
And we also, I can tell you this, we also want to thank the people that have come together to raise the money for the bonds and the legal defense. But at the end of the day, you've got to be willing to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And the First Amendment matters. Protests of the presidential election matters. Clearly, we're not the only people protesting. People are protesting across the country because Donald Trump was very divisive. And interestingly, most police organizations endorsed Donald Trump. So I believe that these officers in general were probably felt really emboldened. But at the end of the day, there are people who must stand in the gap for people who are oppressed by government. And that is what we're doing.
Can you tell us your client first and last name so we'll make sure we have it?
My client's name is Cherie, that's spelled S-H-E-R-E, Dorr, D-O-R-E.
And why did they raise the bond today?
That's up to the judge's discretion. The judge raised the bond from $2,000 to $5,000. And like Ms. Jones stated, we are working on securing her release today, this morning.
The reason they increased it, do you have any idea?
The judge didn't tell us.
The judge did not give us a reason for the increase.
What do you suspect it might be? Do you have any suspicions?
I don't have any suspicions. I would just restate that this is all about the First Amendment.
Okay. What was your client's name?
My client's name is Emily Garcia-Briones, B-R-I-O-N-E-S.